Hello, Dr. Barnes again here. This lecture concerns researching and writing, and I know I've spent some time on this, but I think we need to spend a little more just to get you comfortable and with it and tell you what's sort of involved in getting really good at it. Uh, because it's critical to any university student's success, and that includes you and me and anyone else who's involved in university education. Uh, I mean, your success really is dependent upon good writing and researching skills. And by the way, while I'm here, let me say and bear in mind, please, that you always have access to Averett Success Center, or Writing Center in this case for you guys. It's very good. I can't do it all, and we only have me in one place and you in another, so it makes it difficult for me to do it so much. I'll do my best, but if I ask you to go there to get assistance, it's not because I think that you're not capable. It's because I believe that you actually could benefit from it. So that's the purpose. It's not to punish you at all. Uh, so this lecture is going to be about 4 or 5 or 6 different areas that I want to discuss, and the first one is called abstract reasoning. Um, and that's the ability to generalize. That is, take a broad view from the particular, the common factor, and to identify that common factor between related concepts, to compare and contrast two things or two ideas, to see the big picture, to identify a critical issue in an academic context, to anticipate consequences by utilizing such materials and information in an effort to accomplish the purpose of studious research or studious academics. Those kinds of things. That's what we're at least trying to accomplish here. The consequential impact of that, or being successful of that, is that this research and writing newfound skills, if you get to that point, and hopefully you will assist with learning how to approach difficult decision making, planning, and problem solving. Otherwise, if you don't do that, you may spend your afterlife chasing absurdity and all of the meaninglessness that can be bestowed upon you. I guess I'm sort of making that up, but it's true. I mean, do it in this life, and don't put it off, because if you continue to put it off, you'll be in your afterlife, and you'll think back just how absurd it was. Okay, enough of that nonsense, I suppose. Number 2, expressive language is the second area that I want to discuss. Using spoken or written language to express ideas is not without difficulty. It is a difficult thing, particularly if you're in my category growing up, when I was dyslexic and stuttered and every damn thing else. So it makes it much more difficult for most of us anyway. The consequential impact of not being able to do that it comes in the form of the difficulty in finding the right word, or using the wrong word, and not noticing, not being able to express oneself or communicate appropriately. For instance, how could you speak about knowing when, what, and knowing the difference between being nice and being kind or being right? Because each has a different context. And unless you know how to find the right words in different situations, you're in trouble. Okay, so that's what we mean by consequential impact. The third area that I want to discuss is information. Big area, and controversial area as it should be. But since 1980, information has grown something like 350%. And with that growth has come an infrastructure of satellites, concentrated dynamic networks with servers in data centers connected to devices that allow users to access information virtually from all over the world, from anywhere on the globe. Uh, that's how pervasive information is, which is why it is so important. And now, when we talk about resources, we tend to include information as a resource because it truly is, and one of the most important resources. Okay, so what's the consequential impact of that? Well, or what has it been, and what is it going to be in the future? Well, the consequential impact is a medium in a perpetually expanding and changing world that is relentlessly pursuing what we call now the future present. Things move so fast that people, even though they're in the present, are looking to the future before they can enjoy the present. Uh, and that's what this medium we call the internet, or telecommunications, and those areas. Okay. So number four, then, let's discuss information now. When we speak of future present, then the word now kind of comes to mind. Uh, Information now then is a digital globular distribution stream of endlessly escalating circulation that has been described as a permanent development centered and feeding on itself. That took me a while to think that one up, but that's really what it is, and we're at the mercy of it. So we have to learn how to use it and make it work for us, because that's how you're successful. It's going to be the only way. It seems that everything now sort of is connected to the internet, or either will be in the future. So, okay, so the consequential impact of that then is that now we have information technicians and information consumers, or students in this case, with the purpose of providing and consuming content, but mostly without depth, and no reciprocal ties, which presents ambiguous requirements to us. And consumers or students' role has become to get the information, to locate it, to uncover it, to discover it, and investigate it. Yet, the consumer or the student must, in doing that, question, distinguish, recognize, grasp authenticity, find out, get the message, make sure, and still verify. So the consumer of information then, with all that descriptive explanation, I guess is a word I can use here, of information, should not be threatened by the overwhelming amount of information, but threatened by overlooking the insignificance embedded within the information. That's the problem, and that's the consequential impact. So let's look at the fifth one, researching and writing. That is the pursuit of learning, a process that has within it intellectual and theoretical training, timidity, sassiness, craziness, tenacity, and enthusiasm. That's really what it is. When you're pursuing learning, all those descriptive terms that I just mentioned are a part of this learning process, and it takes that to be a good writer. What's the consequential impact? The consequential impact is the ability to shape your own life and influence others positively, all without show and too much panache and crassness. Now, once accomplished, though, it is treated as a gift. Believe me, it's a gift that is respected by peers and rivals alike, and discontent really becomes contentment to a great extent. Now, this is number 6, and I call this How To Number 1, Part 1. After deciding on an issue or a topic, which I'm assuming most of you have done by now. In fact, I have a good deal of your abstracts, and you should have them back, most of them. The search process is the next step then. And we've looked at some of that, kind of looked at it, but we haven't really, I don't believe, have said enough about it. And I want to make sure that you sort of get it and that you're comfortable with it. So I will continue on this. I may even do another lecture on this. I'm not sure yet. Depends on what I get from you in terms of your written assignments when they come in. As we just discussed, most information is now readily available in a digital format, almost all of it. Thus, search engines such as Bing and Google are an excellent place to begin your search, right? That's where you go. You can go to the library, but even there you're going to be on the internet. So the internet tends to be the pinnacle of search for students and for professionals. Your search should begin by reviewing your abstract, right? You have your abstract written. And when you review your abstract, you do it with the purpose of finding search terms. That's why you're doing it. Because once you identify search terms, you can plug them into Google or Bing, and here we go. And we'll explain that as we move on here. Let's go back to our topic, one of them that we discussed in the last two videos, I believe. The issue was, or the topic was, is the market for automobiles declining? And we decided, of course, again, we'll repeat this, that supply and demand was the appropriate theory. Then we developed an abstract, and this is the abstract we came up with. I'll read it again. Teens and the early 30-somethings make up the largest demographic of the U.S. Population. Traditionally, this demographic drives more, but apparently less than previous generations. Prefer to live in urban centers. They're abandoning cars for mass transit, bicycles and walking, and their expected incomes are an issue, right? This paper is concerned with changes in preferences and taste and the new technologies that are driving these trends and what automobile manufacturers must do to mitigate these trends. Okay, so let's begin here with how we would search this issue, beginning and keeping in mind that the abstract is where we will pull from our abstract search terms. So, and that's probably the best, at least it's an excellent method to find these search terms or search words or search phrases, whatever you want to call them, so you can use them in a search engine. For instance, the abstract tells us that the young generations are driving less than previous generations. The question is why? So you may just add the word why to the phrase, young generations are driving less than previous generations. So you would, in essence, would have a search phrase that says, why are younger generations driving less than previous generations? And then you would click, and then you would view your results, or perhaps you might just, instead of that, you query the younger generation and the demand for automobiles. You could just put that in there. That's a little more general, not quite as specific, but it may yield even more good results than the previous search phrase. Or you may use generational differences and the demand for automobiles. Or you may use changing preferences and taste in the demand for automobiles. Or how the demand for automobiles is being influenced by the younger generation. And so on. The thing of it is, you've got to be creative in constructing search terms for query. Reverse order, lengthen the string of words, or shorten them and substitute synonyms for certain words in the search phrase. All those kinds of things you have to do in order to get the research results that you need to write your analysis. That's the whole purpose. Okay. So assume that the search returns you a few good sources, articles and academic papers, whatever. If this is the case, then you're going to look for search terms, that is, words and phrases, within these articles and review the results of queries in Google and or Bing. And by the way, you could try Google Scholar, and there's also something called Google Ngram Viewer, which is excellent. You should just go there and check that out. If you have trouble using it, let me know. I can help you. I use it all the time. It's very, 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 very informative, and you won't believe what's there. So you get these articles then, and the return from that yields you these articles from your searches, and then you can take the articles themselves and then from them lift search terms and phrases, and then go back and search again if you don't have enough that you think will get you where you need to go here with your analysis. So then I have a number 7 here called How To Number 2. I just wanted to split it up, so that's what I did. And so let's assume you have found 8 to 10 articles that meet your search requirements. Now, the challenge will be how to make sense of the articles in terms of their content and their appropriateness for integration into your analysis. The difficulty of doing this cannot be overstated, excuse me, because many people, in fact most, copy and paste various segments of the articles into the manuscript, into the preliminary paper. Although this is an efficient way to organize information that will support your thesis or your purpose statement, for the novice, it also seems to be efficient to copy and paste without rewriting and putting it in their own words, along with the proper citation. That frees him or her from accusations if you do cite it properly. If you don't, then you could be in trouble. And by the way, this takes practice, and it's much better to practice than to be accused of plagiarism. By the way, you can also use Microsoft Word to help in that regard. You can click on the Review tab at the top of a Word document, and then to the left, Thesaurus, you can click on that, and you utilize that to help you with vocabulary, spelling, and grammar, which is all the way to the left on that tab. However, let me caution you here, it will not assist you with sentence construction and variety and style of writing. That only comes with practice and from looking at other people's work and how they construct sentences. And you sort of build your own style and your own variety of sentence structure by looking at other work. That's just how you do it. One of the things you could do is do a search in Google or Bing, just asking that question. Examples of sentence construction and variety and style of writing, and you'll get, I don't know, 2.6 million returns, I suppose, something like that. I'm guessing, but it certainly will be quite a few. This is the reason why we've been talking about process and practice. It is the only way to become proficient. You just can't sit down and just do it. It's not something you can do. And you can continue to tell yourself, oh, I can't do this. I'm too young. I'm too old. I have too much to do. It's all just BS. You can find time to do it. I write every single day. Every single day I write something. It may be for amusement. It may be for a very serious research paper. It may be for any number of things, but I'm constantly writing and reading articles so I can learn other styles and then take those styles and incorporate it into my own personal style of writing. And that's what you have to do. You almost have to, like, I started to say fall in love with it, but that's probably not the word to use, but yeah, you gotta like it. And to like it, that means you gotta practice. So please, just take it seriously and do it. It's going to occupy a lot of your time, at least in the beginning, but believe me, it will become second nature over time. And again, it depends on how much you practice, but over time, it will become second nature to you. Any good writer and researcher writes something every day. Please remember that. Every good writer and researcher writes something every day. It doesn't mean you have to write, 2,000 words every day, or even 100 words every day. But your mind is geared to that when you're doing searches and not, finding stuff that's, you can text to somebody or you can have them text to you and, doing all these things that really are useless to you. It sort of plays down your success and it also brings theirs down. So, you know, tell your friends to take a hike and do your work and be your own person, and you'll come out much much better. Okay, so it's continuous practice, and it helps to perpetuate the process with the reward of becoming a better writer. That will bring you, I can assure you, many benefits in the future. Maybe not income, but maybe contentment, maybe happiness, maybe something to do that you enjoy and relaxes you. But it can also bring you lots of money. So again, take it very seriously. Okay, that's really all I have in this particular video. I am pleased with some of the abstracts that I've gotten so far. I think they show me that some of you have spent a lot of time thinking it through, and just continue the good work and stay in touch with me. As I said before, I want to help you as much as possible, and I can't fulfill that unless I know what I'm supposed to be addressing. So call me, write me, email me. I don't know. Send a pigeon or something. It doesn't matter. Just get in touch with me, and I look forward to it. So you guys have a great day, and I will see you next time. Okay? Take care. Bye-bye.